Dünyada özellikle turizmde ve gastronomi dediğimizde ilk aklımıza gelen ülkelerden bir tanesi. Geçen yıl da konuşmuştuk. Kimi İspanya'yı. İspanya'dan bir örnek gelecek şimdi bize. İspanya'yı ve gastronomisini nasıl bir turizm değeri haline getirdiklerini anlatacak. Emotourismo direktörü David MORA.
Merhaba. Good morning. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Thank you, TURI, for bringing me here. It's a great pleasure. I want to congratulate you for this successful event. Thank you very much, Kaya, for your hospitality. It's been amazing to be back in Istanbul. I think it's an amazing city you have to be very proud of. My name is David MORA. I studied tourism. I've been working in tourism for my entire career. With great passion. I love this industry, and I intend to keep working in tourism and improve tourism worldwide for the rest of my professional life. Today I'm going to start giving you some details, some figures about tourism in Spain. The name of my country was mentioned a few times already. And in the end I will go downward to wine tourism, which I think it's a great potential for Turkey. Yesterday we had the chance to taste one of your finest red wines in my case. I'm more into red wine rather than white wine, but it was amazing to try your Shiraz, which I will recommend for sure in the future. What's boiling in the tourism industry? This is a very dynamic, very entertaining industry. Of course, and also this word was dropped many times already, experience. Everyone is looking for an experience. When we travel, we want to enjoy an experience. We want to have fun. We want that experience to generate emotions, joy, happiness, love. That's what we're all looking for. But looks like this word is already a bit old-fashioned. And the experts say we are in another stage. We are a step forward. And the next name, the next big thing is called transformation. Transformation. The new generations, and we have here a lot of millennials and centennials, they are looking for a purpose in everything they do in their lives. And also when traveling, of course, they are looking for that purpose. That's why services, products, and marketing in general, they will have to provide that transformation values because that the new trends, the new generations are looking for. And what's in it for the tourism industry? Well, of course, now we have a name, and this is transformational travel, which would be any travel experience that will foster people, that will empower people to make big or small changes in their lives. So when they get back to their homes in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in France, after staying 10 days in Turkey, that happened to me 7 years ago. I came to Istanbul, I was here for 5 days, and then we flew to Ankara, and we were to Cappadocia, and I can tell you this, I've been recommending Turkey and Istanbul for these 7 years, and I'm sure I influenced many of my colleagues and relatives, and actually my parents will be here in 3 months' time. So somehow Istanbul and Turkey transformed me, and forced me, enhanced me to talk about your country and your city. So that's what people are now looking for. They want to change. They want to be better persons when they go back after this experience, this life experience, which is traveling. And food tourism. How can food tourism, or is food tourism also transformational? Well, according to Skift, one of the trendiest and one of the most well-informed tourism magazines, which I recommend you to read daily if possible, they say food will be the third reason for a trip to become more transformational. So of course we have that power, you have that power as part of the catering hospitality industry to transform your clients' lives. Imagine that power that you have. And then getting back to my country. Our country, Spain, of course, we have, great resources, great tourism resources. We have white sandy beaches, nice climate, even though climate change is a very big threat for us, of course. but we were getting old-fashioned. Mass tourism is not interesting anymore. A huge percentage of our tourism comes with tour operators, big tour operators. So let's say big stake of what they spend remains in the places, in the houses, it remains in their country. So just a part of it is actual expense in our country. So we thought we needed a change, we needed a new strategy. Of course, there are great competitors, and of course I have to congratulate the whole Turkey for the great figures, the great results the last tourism season. So we needed a change to try to entice and attract again these savvy travelers, those who've been everywhere in the world. They've been to Spain many times, and why Spain again? So we needed a new shift, a new strategy. So the Spanish Tourist Board set a new strategy to attract what they call the cosmopolitan traveler. Those people living in big urban areas, such as Istanbul, for example, and looking for 5 main or key attractions: art and heritage, food and wine, shopping, urban lifestyle, and roots. So now the Spanish Tourist Board and the rest of our regions are focused on that type of client, that type of traveler, looking for those tourist resources. So as you can see, food and wine and food routes are some of the elements that we are trying to develop in order to attract and create a loyalty program with those tourists coming from our key markets such as Germany and United Kingdom and France, but also of course from long-haul destinations such as the United States, China, Japan, or South Korea, and so on and so forth. So these are the 5 pillars to attract this type of traveler. Is it working? This new strategy that was launched more or less 3 years ago? Well, these are the figures from last season, from 2018. We received almost 83 million international tourists. That signifies it's an increasement of 1.1%. That is that the whole population of Germany came to visit us. Okay? Not all of them came, because some of them came to Turkey too. But that means that we are receiving a lot of people. Of course, that's also causing, you are aware of our over-tourism problems, issues that we are facing in our cities, mainly Barcelona and some other destinations, gentrification. Of course, that's causing some problems. But it's not so important about how many people coming, but about how much money they're spending. So let's talk business. So the income last year was almost 90,000 million euros, which is equally the GDP of the whole Slovakia. Okay? So industry, the tourism industry in Spain is huge. I wouldn't say it's booming, but it's not stagnated. We are trying to improve on a year-on-year basis. So we're doing not so bad. One of these segments that we're trying to attract, of course, are foodies. Those people who take a million pictures before start digging, but we want them to be in Spain. We want them to taste our gastronomy for many reasons. What do they do in Spain? They do food tours. They go to markets. They go to food and wine events, and they buy local produce. That's very important. Who are they? They are middle-aged, as you can see there, between 36 and 45 years, and they travel in couples. That's let's say, the profile of the food tourists coming to our country. So they have a very dynamic behavior during their stay in the country. And also those more related to wine, almost 70% of international visitors drink wine during their stay in Spain. 2 out of them buy Spanish wine, and which is more important, when they get back to Hanover, when they get back to Sheffield, when they get back to Lyon, they keep drinking our wine. So, which is key for our country brand. And when they go to the supermarket, instead of buying, let's say, Italian wine, they will buy Spanish wine. And that, of course, that also helps the rest of our companies, in general, the country brand of our country. So this symbiosis between tourism and improving country brand is also very, very important. Tourism helps to sell more wine and sell more food. You have wine, you have great food, we tested it these days, so tourism is a great opportunity to improve and to sell more and more worldwide, not only while they are here in Turkey. So wine tourism, a successful recipe in our country. I'm going to tell you briefly how we did it, how we are doing it on a public-private partnership scheme, which has been working already for many years, actually for 18 years already. In 2001, the Spanish Tourist Board, as you can see here, this is the tourist logo of our country, signing a partnership with ACEBIN, which is the Association of Wine Cities, Wine Municipalities, in order to create a tourism cluster, a cluster of wine tourism. And this is the logo you have there, the wine roots of Spain. So since 2001, with the help of the Spanish Tourist Office and also by the Ministry of Agriculture, that helped us a lot too, we have been deploying this methodology nationwide. Currently, we have 29 certified wine routes. And when I say certified, and if you see the label there, every 2 years they have to undergo a test. So auditors like myself, we go to the destination and we check that they fulfill all the requirements, the requisites required by this methodology, so that the Spanish Tourist Board award them with this logo as a certified wine route of Spain. Some figures, as I said, 29 wine tourist destinations, 5 new candidates. All of them are very important wine producers in our country, but some of them are also very small. Maybe they just have 5, 6, up to 10 cellars, so also very small wineries and also very small destinations, rural areas in which maybe just wine is the means for development. 13 autonomous regions. In Spain, we are distributed in autonomous regions, and actually the autonomous regions are the ones who draft their own strategy and their own law. It's not like in other countries like France, for example, which has just a common policy for everyone. In Spain, every autonomous region has its own tourism law, which makes everything more difficult to have a common policy, but how it works. 550 municipalities, almost 2,000 private companies, 625 wine sellers, from the biggest ones like Kırdar, Freshenet, the cava producers, to very, very small sellers that may produce maybe 5,000 bottles a year. And also 400 accommodation properties, because almost any part of the tourism chain can be part of a wine route in Spain. These are the figures of visits to the wine cellars. As you can see, it's booming. We don't have the figures from last year yet, but I suppose it will be bigger than these 3,200,000 visitors in wine cellars. We have an average price of €8 to enter and to have a visit with a taste of wine. But they also everyone buys wine after finishing the visit. I ask every winery, every wine cellar, and they all say people buy wine when they finish a good visit. So visit has to be very good. And they have a higher daily expense than the average, let's say, sun and sea tourists. This is important. They spend more and they create more value, because they don't stay at the seaside, they go to the hinterland. They know a different Spain, they get to know other resources, and which they can recommend when they get back to their countries. And then to wrap it up, some key learnings. I'm not going to recommend you anything you know better than myself, but things that at the beginning we thought were important and now are not so important. Try to be authentic and be singular. Okay? We don't need no more Napa valleys. Bordeaux is fantastic, but be your own wine destination. Have your own spirit and have your own personality. That's what people is really looking for. Start from within, but plan for the outside. Turkey has a huge population. So first you have to work on the Turkish visitors. This is going to give you the strength to grow as a wine destination. And then, of course, plan for the outside. We have a problem in Spain that 85% more or less of visitors to wine destinations are national, and just around 20 are foreigners. And normally foreigners spend more than nationals. So start from within, but also plan to attract the Germans to your wineries. During the visits, don't get too technical. In the end, it's not about the wine itself, it's about the emotions that wine can convey. So don't focus much on those technical elements and contents and knowledges, but try to be plain and be emotional during the visit. Use tourism tactics and tools. It's not about selling wine, it's about selling tourism experiences, so you have to use those tourism tools. The quality scheme that we have is very strict, very demanding. I know you have your tour quality too, but in the end, companies want to make money, want to make a profit. So you have to focus on commercializing your wine tourism products. There is always a need for a local regional management of that tourism cluster, so you need someone who's developing and dynamizing the wine tour, but in the end, it's the public institution who's leading, it's the company, it's the private that's creating the product, and it's the local residents who are adding the sense of place. Without the sense of place, you will be nothing. You will be just another destination. So focus on preserving your authenticity and keeping your sense of place. Thank you very much for your time.